All right. Namaste, namaskar. Good evening, friends. Good morning, good afternoon to people from all over the world. I hope my audio is clear. Yes, wonderful. Nice to see all of you on this Saturday evening in India, and of course, morning in India and afternoon in UK and Europe and morning in the US. So nice to see a lot of you. Appreciate your joining at this time. So welcome to a brand new webinar series from Pyramid Valley International, Bengaluru, on NEURODHARMA. All of you must be wondering, what is NEURODHARMA? Any guesses? Can you type on the chat window, what is NEURODHARMA? What is NEURODHARMA? People who have attended my sessions know that there will always be some finger exercises to the fingers, right? You'll have to keep typing to the chat window, ask questions. Laws of the universe, maybe, okay. Neurological wiring on your dharmic purpose, wonderful. The dharma for neurons. Yeah, neurons have the dharma. They keep doing a lot of things, yes. Something to do with consciousness, I guess, mind control. Wonderful. Great guesses. Appreciate your answers. Neurodharma. Neuro means, we all know, it refers to a neural system or neural wiring, which includes brain. And dharma is truth. Dharma is truth. Truth of the world, truth of life, truth of mind, everything, right? So neurodharma is nothing but seeing the truth of the mind through the truth of your body, which is your nervous system and your brain. How the brain sees the different aspects or elements of truth is what we're going to see in this series. We're going to talk a lot about brain. Of course, there are a lot of parts of the brain that are responsible for times when you're anxious, for times when you are joyful, for times when you are happy, for times when you are peaceful, times when you are worried, times when you are sad. Each of these states has a specific neural signature, be it your nervous system or different parts of the brain. So we're going to learn which parts of the brain trigger that particular state or emotion. Just like all of us have vehicles, cars, right? If I don't know anything about the car, if I am driving somewhere and the car stops and I don't know anything about the car, what do? I'm stuck. If I know a little bit about the car, the fuel, the diesel, the meters, something happened to the carburetor, something's happening to the fuse, something's happening to the different parts, then I'll be able to debug it, tinker it, right? So similarly, this program is about knowing your brain. I was stuck, not knowing the brain, not knowing how all this works late last year. Since late last year, for 8 months, I was in a situation when I was stuck, I was in confusion, I was in stress, I was being pulled across from multiple places, that's what is fragmentation. What is fragmentation? Morning, we wake up and there are 100 things buzzing in our head. You have to have this meeting next week. You have to prepare a presentation. You have to do something about my daughter's admission. So you have to do something about your spouse has some requirement, right? So there are a lot of things pulling. And then what do I do? What do I not do? How do I prioritize? All these things come crowded. Sometimes you are clear, sometimes you are not. So I was in that situation where I was looking for clarity, and I used to have bouts of headache. I didn't know where it was coming from. Physiologically, I'm all fine, right? Though I did consult doctors, physiologically, everyone said you're fine. So obviously, the issue was something with the mind. And having been a meditator for the last 20 plus years, having read so many books, I was in a quandary. What the hell is happening? Right? And that is when I started experimenting with a lot of different meditations, right? All of you know, I do this breathfulness meditation, breath by breath, and I also do the stillness retreat. So I tried a lot of meditations. I tried meditation from books by Dawson Church, by Joe Dispenza, different techniques that were mentioned in Yoga Sutras. And there were improvements. I used to measure what was changing, what was not changing. Slowly, the frequencies of my headache started decreasing. And I started noting down why and what. And around early this year is when, as I was my library, my study has almost close to 500 plus books, and I have 500 more on Kindle. I read a lot of books, and since the beginning of this year, I probably read since last November, since a year, I probably read 50 odd books. So for some reason, there was this one book that was standing out. And I happened to take that book, read it, practice it, understand why things were happening a certain way. And that gave me the map, gave me the peek into what the brain is. How do you manipulate the brain states through different hacks? This course is about that. And for some of you who have seen or not seen, there is this book by Rick Hanson called NEURODHARMA. And while this is based on several practices in this book, the course will include a lot of content from other books also. Rick Hanson also written a book called Buddha's Brain, right? So it's about combining neuroscience with the teachings of spirituality, spiritual science. For example, if I'm anxious, I know a technique to practice to get rid of anxiety. Yes, it's all aligned with meditation, all aligned with breath, but there are different techniques, different types of meditation that we do, right? And for those of you who are going to be staying with the course for the next 6 sessions, I'm going to give you a table. I'm going to give you a chart, the 10 regions of brain which we're going to talk about, and what are the functions, what does it do, what do you need to do to impact it, and whether impacting that is better, how do you upregulate it, or how do you downregulate those parts of the brain, right? So we're going to do that after the 6 sessions are over. So then I thought, okay, so we have a lot of meditators in our community. I'm sure someone must be passing through similar situations. And that's what I thought I will share what I've learned. So fragmentation is that. Fragmentation is when you are not fully present, when you're not fully aware of the present moment, when you're not fully focused, when you're not allowed to be fully focused because of several factors in your brain. That's what is fragmentation. Could be as simple as I want to do something, but something is pulling me. And it's also the mind called distracted. It's a distracted mind. It's a fragmented mind. That's what we talk about, right? So let's get started with the first. I'll set the context about why our mind is fragmented, and then we'll talk about several keys of NEURODHARMA, and then we'll kind of talk about the first key. All right. So what is the cost of a fragmented mind? I hope you're able to see this, right? So what is the cost of a fragmented mind? What do we mean by fragmented mind? So we are not present in that particular moment. We are not able to enjoy a tea, a coffee, a juice, a meal fully because something bothering in us. We are not able to make those deep connection in conversations because as you are talking to someone, you are thinking about something else. That's a fragmented mind. Your mind is not fully present there. Because of that, I personally felt as well. You don't get, I usually write a lot. I usually do a lot of presentations. During those 8 months, some of you may have noticed, when I was trying to find out what was wrong, right? I didn't do any sessions. We didn't have breath by breath sessions, nor did we have stillness retreat. I restarted breath by breath and stillness retreat only in June this year. So blocked creativity. You would lose interest in what you're doing because there's one thing for you to focus on. You miss joy. You are in those vacations. You are in those wonderful moments with your family. but you feel a sense of something lacking, some sense of not being there, a sense of disintegration, right? So this is what fragmentation causes. So what is the neuroscience behind it? Why does this fragmentation happen? So beginning with the first lesson of the brain has two operating systems, just like our Android and iOS and Windows and Linux, right? So there is a task network, which is a doing network. I'm sure some of you have read some of Joe Dispenza's books, right? There is a task network, which always keeps you in the doing mode. And there is a being network, which allows you to be. Joe Dispenza talks about from doing to being. And all spiritual science talk about how it's all about being in the present moment. So when we are constantly planning, when we are doing something, when you are evaluating, judging, focusing the problem to solve, trying to find solutions, then our doing network is activated. The lateral cortical structures of the being network is when you are in silence, when you are just looking at an ocean without analysis, when you are just looking at a painting without analysis, when you are sometimes when you're reading that book, the wonderful book, you will be in state where you just feel your presence, right? Connects you to the present moment, experiences life as it unfolds, acceptance, all the things that we learn from acceptance, loving kindness, peace, all that comes from the being network, right? So you can also talk about two levels of consciousness. And research shows most of us spend 95% of their time in the task network. That is the way we are coded. That is the way modern life, always about doing, right? So the brain runs a ancient program thanks to millions of years of evolution of our ancestors who had always had to look out for danger. We always had to look out for danger. So the brain also evolved in that way, always looking for negative things. So it takes because of that, we all developed a negativity bias. What is a negativity bias? Our brain is always on the lookout for negative things. Someone might have told a negative thing about us and a good thing about us, but which one would you remember? We remember the negative things, right? So 5 to 1, it takes 5 positive experiences to get rid of 1 negative experience. You all could have faced it, right? Your kid talking something about you, or a friend of 15 years, suddenly one incident, one episode, somewhere there was a misunderstanding and the whole friendship is gone. We've all seen that. And 24, because of that negativity bias, our brain always keeps scanning for dangers. That's what our fight or flight response is always ready to activate. These are all because of our ancient, evolution, right? At that time, our brain, or the frontal part of our brain, was not as evolved. All we needed was survival. So that is why every time we feel that doing a task keeps us safe. And that's why 95% of the task is network dominance. So anything that any negative thing sticks to us like a Velcro. In fact, Rick Hansen talks about this wonderful analogy. All negative things stick to us like a Velcro. We all know a Velcro, right? It kind of fastens very much. Whereas the positive, good things, someone told something good about us, or we felt something good about something or someone, they stick like Teflon. What is Teflon? Teflon is a kind of plastic non-stick material. You must have seen the dosa tawas and the raincoats, anything plastic related stuff, right? They're Teflons. So the good things, we receive good things like a Teflon, whereas we receive bad things like a Velcro. The whole spiritual quest, whole path of meditation is about changing that whole equation. Buddha keeps talking about replacing unwholesome things with wholesome things, right? It's about doing, it's about replacing that negativity bias with positivity bias, right? Can I hold on to good things like a Velcro and brush off negative things like a Teflon? When you are doing that, that's when you are awakened. That's when we are awakened. It takes a lifetime. It takes many lifetimes for us, all of us, but all of us are on the path. So how do we move from negativity bias to positivity bias? How do we move from being a Velcro to bad experiences to Velcro to good experiences so that you imbibe that? There are different parts of the brain that allows you to record and keep positive memories. The same networks that are today recording and keeping negative memories can be changed to record and keep positive memories, right? So here are the 7 keys of NEURODHARMA. Seeing the truth of the mind with the truth of your brain and nervous system. There are 7 keys. Steadiness, which is calming the turbulence, which is what we will cover today. Loving kindness, warming the heart, which we'll cover next week. And the following weeks, we'll cover the remaining. Fullness, it's about resting in sufficiency, in contentment. Loving kindness is about love and compassion. Some of you probably know that. The 4th key is wholeness, integrating your all parts of your body, all parts of your mind, all parts of your brain. How does it all function together as one whole? Mind-body connection, that's what is wholeness. Nowness is living in the front, living in the present moment, not thinking about the future, not thinking about the past. There are certain networks in the brain that activate nowness. And allness is oneness, opening beyond separation. There are certain networks in the brain that focus on separation. For example, that is the network that will allow you, when you are walking through a crowd, that will allow you to walk without bouncing into each other. It tells you, here is your body, here is the separation. That is the network that allows you to ride your two-wheeler with balance, right? So that's a network. So allness, there is separation because of some reason, but that we are using separation, that network, for all other reasons, right? So how do you break out of that to experience the dharma of oneness? And lastly, timelessness, touching the eternal, right? So as we know, we always are looking at the past and thinking about the future, but never in the present moment, right? Timelessness is about how the present moment has everything, right? So we will look at the 7 keys of NEURODHARMA. I hope you're seeing the slides. Yes. So how does this, I'm sure a lot of us practice breath meditation, breath mindfulness meditation, right? And how do these impact breath meditation? The whole idea of this course is for already practicing meditators to enhance their practice, to make sure that practice results in transformation. For newbies, for beginners to meditation, for them to begin it the right way, making use of these different ingredients, right? And for other people who are curious about how the brain works in aid of meditation. So that's the whole purpose of this course. So the breath meditation, each of these: steadiness, loving kindness, the warmness, fullness, wholeness, nowness, allness, and timelessness, all these add or enhance your practice compared to a practice where you just close your eyes, start observing your breath. That also works wonders for a lot of people, right? For some, after a while, you'll probably start looking at other things, and these are the other things that we'll talk about. So let's look at the first key, steadiness. So there are 5 factors. What is steadiness? What is steadiness? Steadiness is about steady focus. It's about, you must have seen a lamp flickering in the wind. The winds are the distractions that we all are subject to, right? I want to do something, but suddenly I change my mind. My mind gets distracted. I want to do something, but I'm not doing it wholeheartedly. I have an iota of doubt. I have a sense of think whether it will work or not. Or maybe I know, hey, it will not work, but like I'm having to do, let me do it. Right? All these are not wholesome work, right? So steadiness is about how do you get the steadiness of mind in anything that we do, anything that we apply. Again, there are different brain networks that work through these, right? So there are 5 factors. Again, we're going to practice steadiness in meditation. Okay, so the structure of this course, every session will be 40 to 45 minutes of lecture, and then we'll practice a 15-minute meditation. With the practice, we'll follow some of the techniques that are covered in that particular day's class. All right, so the 5 factors are relaxing the body, quieting the mind, single pointed attention, feeling grounded, and feeling safe. These are the 5 factors that determine steadiness. So first, what do we mean by relaxing your body? So during our meditation practice, you must first relax your body. This seems obvious, but a lot of people don't take care of it. What do I mean by relaxing your body? Making sure your jaw gets relaxed. In fact, some of you might have noticed when I do the guided meditation for breath by breath or breathfulness meditation, I keep mentioning relax your shoulders, keep your eyebrows relaxed, keep your jaw relaxed, keep your hands relaxed, right? So that's exactly what it is. Because your brain is programmed to constantly monitor your body for threat. Sometimes you might have noticed, even when you're in conversing with something, sometimes your hands are so tight, your body is so tight, right? So muscle tension, especially jaw, shoulders, belly, signals danger to your amygdala. Amygdala is a part of the brain, right? So when you are tense, it signals danger to the amygdala. So that is when you are tense, any negative input gets attached to your velcro. So the first step is to relax your body always. Again, of course, during the meditation practice, but also otherwise. Research shows that simply relaxing your body reduces amygdala activation. Amygdala is that what we call as the emotional brain or the subconscious brain, responsible for all emotions. Reducing, just by relaxing your body, you reduce amygdala activation by 25% within minutes. You're all listening to it. You're all listening to this conversation. See if any part of your body is tense. Relax. So during meditation, before even you focus on the breath, release obvious tension. Let your body be heavy. Feel the support on which you are sitting for meditation. Feel the way you are grounded onto the earth. Feel the way your feet touch onto the earth. We'll go through this practice to introduce this thing. So you can't have a steady mind in a tense body. You can't have a focused mind in a tense body. So every time we do some work, make sure your body is relaxed. The second thing is, all of us who've been through meditation practice know this, right? So as soon as you sit in meditation, a lot of thoughts keep coming up, a lot of verbal thinking coming, oh, this is not going to work. Am I doing this right? I should be calmer. I don't think today I'll have a good meditation. I hope I have a good meditation, right? The narration is how the default mode network of the brain maintains a sense of separate, self-managing experience. So you will have to consciously intend to stop that verbal thinking. What do we mean by verbal thinking? Usually you might feel, right? You might see all the chatter comes in the language of your choice. You might be thinking in your own mother tongue. Those chatter could be coming in English. So there are certain centers of the brain which are responsible for language, which are responsible for understanding speech and also for speaking. So the moment you intend to stop verbal thinking, those two centers stop. So you'll not give rise to, you'll have to do it consciously. When verbal thinking quiets, the language centers, there are two language centers, Broca's and Wernicke's areas in our brain. Decrease activity, the default mode network calms, and your posterior singular cortex, which is the mental chatter center, we'll talk more about it, settles down. The key here is you don't try to stop all the thoughts. You allow the thoughts to settle down. When you try to avoid thoughts, fight thoughts, it creates a lot of tension. You don't engage with them or elaborate on them. We learn a technique in breathfulness meditation and stillness retreat called labeling. Right? So the moment you label, you disengage with them and then you come back to your breathing. You're not fighting thoughts. You're just not getting in the car that one does. As and when thoughts come, you're not engaging with them. You're allowing the thoughts to come. You're not getting You're not allowing to stick to your Velcro. So shift. So the technique there is, how do you shift? How do I stop the verbal chatter? So you need to shift your attention to non-verbal sensations. That is why we keep saying, feel the sensations of the breath. Feel the sensations in your body, right? The moment you move from language to feeling, then those centers of the brain get deactivated. So that's factor number 2, quieting verbal thinking. We'll practice this today. The third factor, one-pointed attention. We all know that, right? We all bring our attention to our breath. Breath where? Where do you feel your attention? Any place. Any place that you feel, that you can observe your breath. What do you mean by observing your breath? Feeling your breath. It's not about thinking your breath. It's not about analyzing the breath, right? It's about choose one anchor: breath, body, or sound. That's the general. Anything, any one point attention. In our case, when we're practicing anapanasati, breath mindfulness meditation, we focus on the breath, right? And whenever you wander, whenever your brain wanders, your mind wanders, you bring your attention back to your breath. When attention is scattered, brain activity is scattered. When you focus on one thing, there is this part of the brain called dorsolateral prefrontal cortex that strengthens. That's part of the attention network. Attention network consolidates. Dawson Church, in his book called Bliss Brain, talks about 4 networks that get affected because of meditation. You should probably look at that. So whenever you are focusing your attention on one thing, one point, so when you choose your breath, focus your attention at the entrance to your nose, or the movements in your chest, or the movements in your stomach. One point. That's it. That's the beginning for all meditation practice. We all talk about it. Anapanasati starts with that. Right? And every time your mind wanders, a lot of us feel, oh my God, my mind is wandering. But the beauty is, every time your mind wanders, you're recognizing the mind is wandering, you bring your attention back to that one point. Every time you do that, you are flexing your muscle, you are building your muscle of attention. So your anterior cingulate cortex, ACC, starts firing whenever you bring, right? So whenever you recognize your mind has wandered and you recognize that you're bringing attention back to you, celebrate. You should feel great. You should feel good. That's your ACC firing. The more you start continuing to give your body, feel good about bringing your mind away from wandering, your attention strengthens. I keep giving this analogy about weight training, right? You hold a dumbbell in your hand and how do you do weight training? You lift up and down, right? Only then your muscle builds. Similarly, every time you notice your mind wandering, bring your attention back to your breath. Mind wandering, bring your attention back to your breath. Mind wandering, bring your attention back to your breath. That builds the muscle of attention. The wandering isn't the failure. If your mind wanders, it isn't a failure. It is good. As long as you're noticing, you don't get lost it. That is the practice. The return from the mind wandering is the practice. So that's factor number 3, one-pointed attention. All right. Factor number 4, feeling grounded. Again, we'll practice today. What do we mean by feeling grounded? And this is the most underused but most powerful factor, feeling grounded. How do you feel grounded? Most meditation instruction usually skips this, which is why so many practitioners feel floaty, feel untethered. So in our hippocampus in the brain, there are something called place cells. They are specialized neurons that fire when you are in a specific location. This discovery, in fact, won a Nobel Prize in 2014, the place neurons in our hippocampus. When you consciously activate this, how do you activate this? By feeling present, by feeling grounded. How do you do that in a meditation practice? You feel your seat, you feel the heaviness of your seat on the chair or on the cushion. You feel your legs touching the ground. That's groundedness, as you see in this picture as well, right? Your brain receives a powerful signal, I know where I am, therefore I am safe. So your brain doesn't need to keep on scanning for dangers. So I know I am here in this location that I am familiar. So this practice involves being aware of the room you are in, being aware of the groundedness, being of the ground beneath you, being aware of the pressure that you are placing on the chair. We cover that in body scan meditation, right? Sense the surface supporting you. Notice your location in space, right? Feel the space around you. Sense the room, sense the building. So these are the practices that we follow. So feeling grounded, knowing where you are creates profound groundedness. Feeling your body's weight. This is the most underused factor. Next time when you sit in meditation, my dear friends, make sure that at the beginning, you make sure you feel the sense of location, sense of groundedness as you sit for meditation. All right, and the last factor, factor number 5, is establishing an inner refuge. So what are we trying to do with this? All these factors. We are trying to make sure the brain feels safe. It doesn't need to scan for danger so that it doesn't activate our parasympathetic nervous system, which is a fight or flight. So, sorry, it doesn't activate our sympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for fight or flight, right? So when you do all this, automatically your parasympathetic nervous system gets activated. That is what provides the relaxation response, provides all the benefits and transformation of your brain, of your body, right? Establishing an inner refuge is about being aware of awareness. Being, so you are not doing anything dangerous to the body. I am just resting in my awareness, sense of being, right? This is the most subtle, a bit difficult, right? Your mind needs somewhere safe to rest. And remember NEURODHARMA, the neural basis of truth. And we all know neuroscience talks about it. Your brain gets shaped the way you place awareness and where you place your awareness. Where you place your awareness and how you place your awareness shapes your brain, right? We all have learned that, right? Neurons that fire together, wire together. Similarly, what you place your attention on grows. So your brain grows the same way your attention. If you are placing your attention more on lack, more on negative thing, oh my God, I can't do this meditation. I'm not able to do things. I'm not able to do some things, right? Then your brain, those networks of the brain will always send those kind of neurochemicals, will always allow you to feel that lack. Whereas if you're aware what you're doing, if you're aware that you're placing your awareness on positive things, on wholesome things, right? Then those networks of the negative brain networks that focus on negativity dim down, and the brain networks that focus on positivity increases. So establishing an inner refuge is about, the way you can do it is you can first, you need to tell your brain, I am feeling safe. This is my home, this is my meditation room, this is my hall, I'm feeling safe, nothing to worry about it. Or you can always bring to mind a thought or a memory where you felt a lot more safer, right? Being with someone, being in some place where you completely felt safe. Even then your brain network clicks and says, okay, yeah, you are safe, I don't need to worry about you, right? The refuge is internal, not external, not about the shelter, right? It's about internal. It's about how are you placing your awareness in that safe place, right? Sense awareness as space. How do you sense that? You sense awareness as a space. You are aware of the space around you. You are aware of the space in you. You are aware of the space in your body, right? So that is awareness. That is how we practice this step in meditation. All right, how do these 5 factors work together? So we saw how a relaxed body is needed, quiet mind is needed, one-pointed attention is needed, feeling of groundedness is needed, and then this inner refuge. So here's what makes this powerful. The 5 factors aren't just additive, they are multiplicative, right? When you practice these 5 factors in your meditations every day, and even otherwise, when you're not grounded, when you're floating in the air because of fragmentation, any of these will bring you down, tie you to something, right? So the 5 factors together create a positive feedback loop. A relaxed body makes it easier for thinking to quiet. Quiet thinking makes it easier to focus attention. Focused attention combined with groundedness creates stability. Neither, which none of it can create alone, right? And all of this is supported by the refuge, the safety net, by being in that space, being aware of the space, right? And all these combined together produces that profound steadiness. You use all these practices in your meditation tomorrow, right? We will do the practice, 15-minute practice now, but when you do these, you'll feel the strength of your meditation improving. Each factor amplifies the others. This is what the synergistic neuroplasticity, the brain keeps changing as you continue to practice this. You can practice this even outside of meditation. You're sitting somewhere simple. Before you observe your breath, just practice yourself feeling grounded. Tell your mind to stop chatting. Relax your body. Feel completely relaxed. Release all the tension in your body, right? And then make sure you feel comfortable wherever you're sitting. You don't need to scan your danger. So you tell your brain, I am completely safe in this place. I want to be focusing on something, reading a book or just observing my breath or doing the work that I'm doing. It will listen. All right. So there are different parts of the brain, as you see here, different parts of the brain that gets changed. And all these effects happen immediately. Relaxed body, immediately amygdala silences, the vagal tone increases. Your quiet thinking, your default mode network downs, reduces the language centers. It needs to be conscious, right? Similarly, one-pointed attention reduces mind wandering, increases the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the activation of that. Groundedness, as I said, hippocampus, remember the Nobel Prize of 2014, right? And then the safety networks improve. All these provide, do this in a compound, give a compounded effect. It's not additive, this or that, right? Doing all this together, try it out, and that's when you'll feel, why am I doing it? Why is this all different? Why does this change everything? That is because generally, when you don't use these factors, that's what I discovered. You don't use these factors, you are aware, yes, you have attention, but the attention is scattered. You are aware. Awareness is like a balloon. It keeps floating from one to another. Yeah, I am aware, I am blissful, wonderful. But then I want that bliss, I want that focus to be helping me in something, right? So when you apply steadiness, it's like the picture on the right. It's like a rooted tree, strong tree. Your awareness is grounded. Otherwise, your awareness is like this balloon that you see on the left that keeps floating around, around and around. So, of course, awareness practice without these also will get you to that meditative state, will bring about the brain changes, but at a slower pace. Whereas awareness practiced with groundedness, like you saw now, allow you to make the brain changes much faster. Just by practicing this, your brain starts changing. It doesn't need to be during a meditation practice, but in a meditation practice, a lot of other factors that come in that will enhance the change of the brain. All right. So, my dear friends, we all know the distractions keep happening, the mental chatter keeps happening, the call to duty, the lot of things that we need to do, all those things continue to happen. All the things from inside, hey, this should be this way, all the judgments, all the noise that comes from inside, all that continue to happen, right? But you can't stop the waves by saying them, oh, stop, stop, oh, mind, stop making that noise, oh, mind, stop making that nuisance, being a nuisance, right? But the whole idea is you need to learn to surf the waves. John Kabat-Zinn says you can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. Before you can surf the waves, you need to feel your feet on something solid, like the snowboard that you see here. That's what we're going to practice today. That steadfastness, the steadiness under your feet. Steadiness is that boat. Steadiness is that first key of NEURODHARMA that we practice in changing our brain. Without it, we get tossed about by every wave. Something comes in the newspaper, we go, I mean, especially nowadays, a lot of things in the news, right? So something comes in the news, our brain goes into a dizzy, oh my God, what will happen to my job? What will happen to something, right? Or something else happen, and then what will happen to my relationship? Why are people like this? Why are my kids like this? Why are my parents like this? So all these chatter, these are all signs of a scattered mind. We have just begun our journey uh, to the path to whole mind, wholeness. Stay with me for the 6 sessions, 3 weeks. You'll understand the theory and practices behind it. Continue to practice them for long. You'll feel yourself whole. That's the promise. All right. So now we will dive into what we call as the place memory practice. I will guide you through certain instructions, very not too different from your standard meditation instructions, if a lot of you know that. So what I'll ask you at some point to feel your body's weight, feel the sensation, feel the surface supporting you. Could be your chair, could be your pillow, could be your sofa, whatever, right? And then I'll ask you to feel the space around you. So more about the awareness of the space and your location. Feel your location as if you are in this room. I am in the living room, I'm in the bedroom of my house, or I am in some room space completely free. All right. So, my dear friends, so we will dive into a bit of a practice for the next 15 minutes, and then we will open it up for questions. I'll take the questions. I see some questions on the chat window. We'll open up questions for later. All right. So let's dive into our practice. So all of you know how to do this, right? Clasp your fingers, close your eyes, keep your back straight, relaxed. Clasp your fingers, allow it to rest on your lap, and fold your feet, fold your knee, fold your ankles, fold your legs at your ankle, leave it on the ground, or you could sit like this in this posture on the sofa or on a chair or anywhere, right? So allow yourself, become comfortable. Close your eyes, be comfortable. We'll do it in silence. Gently close your eyes. Take a moment to feel your body. Let go of what came before so far. Do not think about what is going to come next. Just follow the instructions. Just be here. Just be in the now. Feel the silence. Begin to notice where you are, the actual physical space you are in right now. Could be a room, could be a house, could be a place. Feel the surface supporting you, the chair beneath you, the floor under your feet, the earth below that. Notice the temperature of the air on your skin, any sounds in your environment, the degree of blackness you see in your eyes. So this is the place. You are here, grounded. Feel the pressure of your sitting on the chair. Feel the way you are sitting. Feel your posture. Keep your hands, arms relaxed. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Keep your eyebrows relaxed. Keep your knees or ankle relaxed. Just scan your body from the head to your toe to make sure your complete body is relaxed. Now, for just a moment, feel the silence in your head. Stop all inner chatter. Just 10 more minutes. You can tell your mind to stop all inner chatter for 10 more minutes. Slowly bring your awareness to your breathing. You can choose a point on your upper nostril at the entrance to your nose, or your chest or your abdomen, wherever you're feeling some movements or sensations due to your breathing. And slowly observe your breathing. Do not change your breath. Just notice. How do you notice? You just feel your breath. You don't see your breath through your eyes. Feel your breath due to the sensations inside your nose or on the upper lip. Feel your breath by feeling the movements in your chest or the movements in your abdomen. Notice every minute aspect of your breath. Feel the breath moving through your nose, down your throat, filling your lungs, pushing your stomach. Notice your chest or abdomen rising, falling, rising, falling. Please keep your head straight. Feel your belly expanding with each inhale, softening with each exhale. Feel the way your breath grounds you into your body. Your breath breathes your entire nervous system that passes through your entire body. Feel the space in your body. Feel the space behind your eyes. If your mind wanders, gently recognize your mind wandering. Celebrate it by feeling good about the fact that you recognized it wandering, and bring your attention back to the point that you chose to observe your breathing. Keep your head and neck straight. Keep your body relaxed. Feel grateful for every breath. As you are fully conscious of your breath, your parasympathetic nervous system is at work, relaxing your body and mind, silencing the networks in your brain that always keep looking for danger. Now slowly bring your awareness to your feet. Feel them touching the floor or resting on your cushion or on your feet if you are sitting in a lotus position. Feel your feet touching the floor. Feel your heels touching the floor if you crossed your ankle. Imagine roots growing down from your feet like you saw in the picture, down through the floor into the earth beneath you, anchoring you, stabilizing you. Feel the strength of the earth supporting you. Feel connected to the earth element. Now feel your bones, your foundation. Feel the way your sitting bones, your backbone is supporting you. Feel the way your neck and head is supported on your spinal cord. All this is grounded on the solid support of your chair, which sits on the earth. Signal to your brain, I am strong, I am safe. Sense your spine, strong yet flexible, like a tree that can bend but won't break. Continue to rest in this stability, this groundedness. You are here, you are anchored to Mother Earth, you are safe enough. Continue to observe your breath with this sense of groundedness. You'll feel your breath and your focus a lot more steadier. With that steadiness, now continue breathing naturally. Continue to feel or observe your breath for 3 more minutes. Feel grounded with every breath. Feel as if your whole body is breathing. If your mind wanders, return your attention to the sensation of being supported, being anchored. Notice any sense of steadiness that's emerging. If your mind wanders too much, if you're distracted, feel the groundedness. It's always available to you. You can return to it any time by feeling your feet on the ground, your body supported, while you continue to observe your breath. Last 1 minute. Continue to observe your steady mind, your steady breath, your body anchored. With a feeling of joy, with a feeling of peace, with a feeling of steadiness. Now, my dear friends, slowly relax your body. Place your palms on your eyes for a few seconds, and you can open them gently. And place your palms on your eyes and open your eyes gently. So, my dear friends, this is just a short practice. You can practice this in your everyday meditations. The goal is, once you understand NEURODHARMA, once you understand how by every meditation practice my brain changes, there are 2 or 3 ways it can augment or enhance your practice. Number one, it motivates you. It tells you that every time you do something, there is a change in some part of the brain. That's number one. Number two, it will make you continue the practice every day. As I keep saying, there's nothing like a bad meditation. The only meditation that is bad is the one that you did not do, right? So there's nothing like a bad meditation. So meditation, anything like Patriji says, close your eyes and 60-70% of the energy gets conserved. Then there is immediately shift in some of the brain networks, right? So that is our quest. The quest with NEURODHARMA is help each one of you understand more about the changes that happen in your brain, and also use some of these neural hacks to change your brain, change your state whenever it's needed. For example, suddenly today when you are anxious, you feel there are too many things to do. All you can do is continue this practice, do this practice of steadiness. Sit wherever you are. You don't even need to close your eyes. Feel your body connected to your feet, feel the feet connected to the earth, right? And feel the space around you, whatever the 5 factors that you've learned. You practice that and you will be on your way to a state of calmness. All right. So with that, my dear friends, I hope the material covered and the pace that you are going is okay. So we've not covered too many. We're going to cover only one key every session. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type on the chat window, or if you have a question, I think you can also raise your hand. I'll just open that up. How do we continue to feel steadiness after coming out of meditation also? Yes, so it's all about the brain. The brain doesn't, unless and until you totally shift out to a different state, the brain still stays the same. It changes in the brain. That is why you'll have to sustain whatever happens in the brain. How do we learn? That's how the brain learns. Brain learns by allowing to, you'll have to sustain in that particular state. Next class, I think next session or the session after that, you learn any new experience that you get, how do you make the brain learn? You allow the brain to enjoy or experience that state for 30 seconds or more. So you experience steadiness, you practice steadiness for 15 minutes, it will continue unless and until you are disturbed by something a lot different, lot more outside. So is there any pain or discomfort? Do we take the attention there during meditation or keep focusing on the breath? Yes, ma'am, yeah. So if it initially you try to bring your attention to your breath, but if that pain persists, you shift your attention to the pain. And over time, as you give it conscious attention, the pain will go away. All right, and then I saw an earlier question. What is the difference between groundedness and inner refuge? Groundedness is about staying anchored, like you saw the roots of a tree, like you saw the trunk of a tree. That is groundedness. Refuge is about feeling the space. The tree has space around it, right? The tree is not too crowded. So refuge is about giving that space to your thoughts, giving the space, that you feel the space around you. That is refuge. Yes, so basically you need to add these steps at the start of your daily practice or during your daily practice. That's the whole idea. If you're doing good with your meditation, no worries. But if you feel that you can do a lot more, in spite of all my meditation, you're still not feeling the benefits of it, these are the practices that you can add, which is what I did. All right, now we will take questions. Let me unmute you, allow participants to unmute. All right. So yes, over Rajni Kat, madam, you raised your hand. You can unmute and ask your question.
Am I audible, sir? Hello?
No, you're very feeble. Can you please talk loud?
Yeah. Actually, firstly, I'm grateful to you, sir, for this session. And because in the starting, as you mentioned that you was facing a lot much, I was going through same and a lot of thoughts. I was feeling as sometimes it's still like and sometimes all that was in my surface, it is whirling out in meditation and all the thoughts and especially my Mooladhara center. I always feel in my meditation that I need to pull it out, pull it upward and keep it hold and to be more grounded. And I am really blessed that universe listened to me and in the form of this session, I am going to be with me with more grounded like a tree because if I share today's experience, when you were seeing the groundedness, I was connected with a tree with whom I watch every day when I walk nearby, and that tree asked me that if you feel just I was rapping just like in Hindi a bale is a round means
हिंदी में बात कर सकते
I
हैं.
was twisting around that tree to be more grounded, to hold that tree gave me, and it was very wonderful. And I was feeling light. And today,
Wonderful.
as you in your presentation, you show the balloon and the tree. Previously, I was just like the balloon, and I was. I have no doubt before after breath by breath meditation, your session and in Chandra sir's sessions. But something I was feeling that just like a balloon means I was unable to unable to that how these because the still water was becoming a muddy water, just like
Mm.
I was. And but now today I was feeling very light. I really feel grounded. And
Wonderful.
thank you, Science
Wonderful,
sir.
man.
Thank you. I'm grateful that universe answer me in the form of this session, your guidance, your navigation. I'm
Wonderful.
grateful.
Wonderful,
I'm
man.
grateful.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Science sir, for all you are doing. Thank you. I'm grateful, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Yes, Sayantan, sir.
Sagar sir, namaste. If you can please take us through or repeat from the state of being grounded to the state of being in a safe place of inner refuge. If you can just explain once again where is exactly how do we transition from the grounded state to the inner refuge state?
Yeah, so these are all different instructions that we are giving to our brain, right? There's nothing like a taking from one state to other state. So the fact that you are grounded, like we practiced, you'll have to feel your seat. You'll have to feel the chair. You'll have to feel your feet grounded. That is a groundedness, right? The inner refuge is about feeling the space around you, right? Telling your brain that I am in a comfortable place, I am in a safe place, right? Even that location, the groundedness, another aspect of the location is you have to remember that you are in a safe place, in a house, right? Now, no threats around me. You feel the space around you, that immediately the spatial networks get activated, right? The spatial networks are activated means there is enough space for you. It's like when you are in a crowded place, automatically your brain is looking for danger, right? When you give it more space, when you're walking in a empty stadium or empty ground, your brain doesn't it feels the space around it. So you're instructing your brain, say you're feeling, and when you close your eyes, you feel the space around it. That is the inner refuge. Again, these are all different steps, and you can follow it anyway. You can feel the space first, then feel the groundedness, then tell the mind to stop thinking or talking, and then getting to your breath, so things like that.
So, just to understand, today we started the meditation session with also a portion of inner refuge where you told us to be aware of the place we are. So, we also end it, it's like a circle. We start with the inner refuge and end with the inner refuge. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct, but that was not designed that way. It's nothing like that. You need to start from inner refuge and end from inner refuge. So you keep repeating it periodically. If your mind continues to wander, you add a little bit more of it. But if your mind is focused and observed, you don't need to kind of go and add the groundedness and the refuge steps.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any more questions? Nice to see you, Vijaya sir. Nice to see you, Ramesh sir. All right, so I guess no more questions. We will stop the session for today, and I hope all your emails are updated. Each of you will get some email in a couple of days with some more content about Neurodharma. So we'll keep engaging with you on emails as well. And please join the WhatsApp group in case you have any questions. You can always ask the questions in the WhatsApp group. All right. So with that, I'll give you your Saturday back, and thank you very much. Namaskar, and see you in the next session on Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. IST India time. Thank you.